On December 5th last year, Huawei quietly launched the Qingyun L480 and L540 laptops, briefly mentioning the use of Kirin 9006C processor, but providing no further details. However, media reports suggest that this processor is built using SMIC's 5nm technology. Professional review websites have pointed out a somewhat embarrassing fact. This much-hyped 5nm chip performs only half as fast as expected. By year's end, a disassembling commissioned by Bloomberg to Tech Insight revealed that SMIC's 5nm chip was an older product from TSMC dating back to 2020. Chinese media had high hopes that SMIC's 5nm processor would be a game changer for Huawei. Unfortunately, this was not the case, and SMIC's stock price plummeted as a result. Industry insiders have noted that the reality of China's chip industry is not as it seems. Many major factories are struggling to operate effectively. SMIC's chips specifically designed for Russian military use have also faced criticism for their lack of precision. These chips, failing to generate profits in the commercial market, have led SMICs to relocate operations to Xian, focusing more on government-subsidized military projects. Turning to Huawei's situation, the company's rush to release the L540 and L480 can be attributed to financial pressures. Since the US sanctions in 2020, Huawei's revenue has significantly decreased, from 891.4 billion yuan in 2020 to 636.8 billion yuan in 2021, with a slight increase in 2022. As a result, Huawei launched 7 new products in rapid succession after the release of the Mate 60 Pro on August 29th last year. This strategy aimed to draw attention to boost sales with new hardware while overshadowing issues revealing during the Mate 60 Pro disassembly, thus avoiding further US sanctions. The US sanctions targeted 2 major technological areas: 7nm chip and 5G radio frequency chips. The disassembling of the Mate 60 Pro focused on the Kirin 9000S, a 7nm chip, raising questions about its production, possibly by SMIC. However, Huawei has been cautious in confirming this, and SMIC has also refrained from acknowledging this involvement. Those claiming SMIC's involvement have faced legal threats, leading to deleted posts and videos, and in some cases banned accounts, due to fears of further US investigations and sanctions. Under US regulations, companies using more than 10% of American technology must comply with its sanctions. SMIC, already on the US sanction list, continues to use significant American technology. If rumors of SMIC manufacturing chips of Huawei are true, it could lead to further penalties from the US Department of Commerce. Moreover, suppliers in Huawei's supply chain risk additional sanctions for breaches. Despite the hype around the Kirin 9000S, its performance could be better when compared to Qualcomm's Snapdragon 888, a 7nm chip from 2020. The Snapdragon 888 outperforms the Kirin 9000S in terms of performance, architecture, and even manufacturing process. Furthermore, users have reported that the Kirin 9000S tends to overheat more than the Snapdragon 888, a significant disadvantage for those frequently using their phones or video shooting or editing. Huawei has been notably discreet about the 5G capabilities of its Mate 60 Pro, even going so far as to downplay them. Despite achieving standard 5G speeds for Chinese mainland smartphones in tests, Huawei has refrained from labeling the Mate 60 Pro as a 5G device in official documents or product packaging. Instead, they have chosen to describe it as a satellite communication device, likely to avoid drawing attention to the technology's origin and potential US sanction issues, thereby minimizing legal risk for Huawei. In the chip manufacturing sector, Apple and Tesla rely on TSMC's highly efficient 7nm process, boasting a yield rate of 95%. In contrast, SMIC's presents a different scenario. Using deep ultraviolet lithography machines, SMIC achieves only a 15% yield rate, although official media previously inflated this figure to 50%. Consequently, the actual cost of producing the Kirin 9000S chips is double that of TSMC's. Despite operating at a loss, SMIC persists in production largely due to substantial government backing. Huawei and SMIC collectively receive over 13 billion yuan in government subsidies each year, a sum that sustains their operations on a grand scale. Huawei's market position relies not on its technological prowess, but on these generous subsidies from the Chinese government. Huawei's products, including smartphones, smartwatches, and laptops, adhere to the security standards set by the Chinese government. In the Chinese market, these products enjoy stable sales, partly due to the government's restriction on public officials using Apple products. Thus, even if Huawei products may not have a performance advantage, government policies have created a stable demand for them. The launch of Huawei's Mate 60 Pro and its subsequent media maneuvers are a response to US sanctions, particularly timed before the departure of the US Secretary of Commerce from Beijing, seemingly to showcase Huawei's strength to the world. However, this action drew further attention from the US, leading Senator Rubio to submit a letter to the White House calling for stricter sanctions on Huawei. Amidst this backdrop, the operation involving ASML's lithography machines is particularly noteworthy. To evade strict US monitoring, attempts have been made to hack the machine's surveillance systems to convert operations. Considering the sales volume of the Huawei Mate 60 Pro, an estimated 20 million Kirin 9000S chips would need to be produced, requiring multiple exposures and suggesting an unusually high frequency of lithography machines usage, which the US seemingly failed to detect promptly. Additionally, the circumvent US sanctions SMIC may have adopted a virtual chip foundry strategy. This involves creating a nominal foundry without its lithography machines or other equipment, with all responsibilities borne by this virtual entity, while SMIC continues actual production. This tactic aims to sidestep US sanctions, raising considerable controversy legally. The Chinese government occasionally makes big moves in the semiconductor field, such as claiming significant progress in domestic lithography machines or ASML's plans to sell these machines to China. Claims also include Huawei's developing 7nm chips and Intel, Nvidia, and Qualcomm lobbying the US government to relax export restrictions to China. However, these are often misleading messages intended to stabilize public sentiment. US and Western sanctions have not eased, but have progressively escalated, starting from minor measures to potentially larger-scale actions, casting a shadow of uncertainty over Huawei and China's chip industry future. As for SMIC, utilizing outdated equipment to achieve 7nm technology does not represent technological innovation, but rather the extraction of the last value from the equipment. In this game of technology and politics, the real situation of China's chip industry is far less glamorous than it appears. On June 29, 2023, the chairman of Yangtze Memory Technologies Co., Ltd., Chen Nanxiang, made a startling declaration at a chip conference in Shanghai. He revealed that China's leading chip enterprises are in dire straits, unable to produce or procure essential components, rendering their chips manufacturing equipment effectively inoperative due to damage or lack of maintenance. He emphasized the particular scarcity of photoresist, a crucial component in chip manufacturing, which has become a rare commodity in China, plunging the entire semiconductor industry into a production standstill. Photoresist is fundamental to chip manufacturing, but its production is dominated by Japan, South Korea, and the United States, making it as challenging to replicate as high-end mechanical watches. Adding to the woes, on July 23rd, Japan tightened controls even on the equipment used for cleaning and inspection. Thus, even the Dutch lithography machines, the absence of these supplementary tools makes chip production impossible. For Chinese military chips, a 20nm process would suffice. However, the absence of Japanese photoresist has made even the production of 40nm and 50nm chips challenging, effectively leaving China's chip manufacturing in a state of lacking the necessary materials to accomplish one's intention. The candid comments by Yangtze Memory Technologies, a key figure in China's semiconductor industry, are not to be taken lightly. They reveal a far grimmer reality of China's chip industry than what appears on the surface. In an integral speech in May 2022, President Xi Jinping reportedly stated that if Taiwan is not integrated by 2024, China will completely run out of chips. Some of the navigation chips in Chinese missiles are repurposed for washing machine components, which are designed to ensure the appliance's balance. It's a striking fact that LG washing machines have inadvertently become part of missile technology. These repurposed chips have reportedly been used in Dongfeng missiles during the military exercises around Taiwan on August 4, 2022, with some missiles landing within 200 nautical miles of Japan. Contrary to claims of using SMIC chips, these missiles were allegedly equipped with chips from LG washing machines. If China exhausts its chip supply by 2024, the country might have to start repurposing chips from consumer electronics like smartphones. In such a scenario, the chips in your phone could be used in a missile. While the validity of these claims remain uncertain, they undoubtedly fuel the imagination about the current state and the future of China's chip industry. Turning to SMIC, China's semiconductor flagship, there are reports of the company producing navigation chips for Russian missiles. Given the high cost of procuring such chips in bulk from the United States, it's said that the Chinese government is footing the bill for SMIC's production. SMIC's military chips, though only requiring a 40 to 50 nanometer process, apparently fall short of the necessary sensitivity and precision. This is not a minor technical discrepancy, but a significant issue. With large quantities of these subpar chips supplied to Russia, there are concerns about civilian casualties. The guidance systems of missiles, especially over long distance, depend on extremely sensitive horizontal and vertical adjustments. With missiles traveling at high speeds, even a millisecond delay in signal processing can result in significant deviation. Moreover, the inability to finally control the missile's fines, as with SMSC's technology compared to the 0.01 micron precision of US technology, can lead to substantial errors. In summary, SMIC's guidance systems, lacking the requisite sensitivity and installed in Russian missiles, have resulted in inaccurate targeting, sometimes hitting civilian areas. This imprecision starkly contrasts the accuracy of the US missiles technology, as seen in past conflicts, highlighting the significant technological gap. In September last year, a significant development occurred in China's semiconductor industry as SMIC, one of the country's leading chip companies, announced the relocation of its headquarters from Shanghai to Xian. This move signifies a strategic shift, given China's increasing focus on integrating semiconductor production with its military-industrial complex. Xian, not only a city with historical significance, is now emerging as a pivotal location in the semiconductor battlefield. The presence of Northwestern Polytechnical University in Xian, a key site for aerospace and military-industrial research, underscores the city's role in China's defense sector. SMIC's relocation to Xi'an is twofold. It aligns with the company's effort to serve the aerospace and military industries more effectively and strategically positions the company away from potential conflict zones. Previously, Shanghai's proximity to New York's capital markets and Taiwan was advantageous. However, as Western countries have intensified efforts to curb the transfer of chips manufacturing technology to China, maintaining the headquarters in Shanghai has lost its significance. President Xi Jinping's directive for China to pursue independent chip development mandates a move to strategic locations like Xi'an and other secret bases in southern Xi'an and Inner Mongolia, Zhoukhuan. These sites are crucial for Caliston's research and development in aerospace and chip manufacturing. Shanghai's role as China's window to the open world and a bridge to the free world changes with SMIC's departure. Ostensibly, the move represents a shift towards self-reliance in chip development, moving away from dependence on Western technology. However, it also suggests an inward turn, focusing on domestic development, which may isolate SMIC from international technological advancements. Beyond SMIC, the wider Chinese semiconductor industry faces challenges. In May 2023, Oppo shut down its Zeku chip design business, fearing sanctions. Launched in 2019 with substantial investment, Zeku's closure was officially attributed to declining Android phone sales. However, it's believed that Oppo anticipated US sanctions, especially since Zeku have received personnel and resources from sanctioned companies like Huawei and ZTE. A Bloomberg report in October last year highlighted the complex international business and political scenarios involving Taiwanese companies assisting Huawei in building chip factories, despite Western sanctions. This cooperation is not merely driven by economic interests, but suggests years of infiltration by Chinese government into Taiwan's semiconductor industry. Allegations of Huawei obtaining technology through unconventional means have also been a subject of controversy, with suspicions that SMIC's technological breakthroughs might involve the misappropriation of TSMC's technologies. Huawei's rise to prominence, often marred by accusations of employing unethical methods such as hacking into Nortel network systems and appropriating its technology, has been a point of contention. The company's success, bolstered by state subsidies, have been achieved by offering similar products to Nortel's but at lower prices, eventually leading to Nortel's bankruptcy and Huawei's ascent as a major global internet technology provider. The launch of Huawei's Mate 60 Pro fueled a wave of nationalism, but reality soon tempered this enthusiasm. Despite nationalistic fervor, Huawei faces the certainty of its 7nm technology being surpassed by more advanced 3nm and 5nm technologies being developed internationally. Under international pressure, Huawei and its CEO Ren Zhengfei have maintained a low profile to avoid exacerbating tensions with the US, the Netherlands, Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan. This approach might indicate underlying issues within Huawei that are not publicly disclosed. The nationalist narrative surrounding Huawei appears to be a strategic effort to bolster public confidence and shape the company's image, but it may lead to increased scrutiny and sanctions from the international community. In the past, China has exploited loopholes to exchange market access for technology and used state power to control enterprises and misappropriate American technology. As a result, the United States initiated sanctions and blockades against China. In May 2019, considering national security, the US placed Huawei on a trade blacklist, requiring US suppliers and other enterprises to obtain special licenses to supply Huawei. In December 2020, SMIC was added to the entity list due to concerns over the potential military use of its technology. If China continues this practice without change, it not only faces a shortage of semiconductor chips and a halt in technological progress, but also risks isolation by the Western countries, potentially becoming akin to a larger version of North Korea.